breast is often really, really expensive. But my husband saw it on sale for $1.59 a pound. That is really, really cheap for boneless, skinless chicken breasts in my area. And in fact, I don't know if it ever is any cheaper in my area. So we got 20 pounds of it. And I just want to show you, I don't know if you remember seeing in the last video when I did the chicken thighs, the chicken legs, how it was dripping. I don't know if anybody caught that on camera, but they did a different packaging this time. It is actually vacuum sealed in one of these blue bags. Really neat. So they changed that in the last 2 weeks. So I'm really happy about that, because look how much cleaner it is when you're not having juice everywhere. So last night I was doing research on YouTube because I want to have it shredded barbecue chicken. And do you know, I could not find one video on somebody who canned chicken shredded up in barbecue sauce. Not one video on all of YouTube? I thought, man, I must be on to something here if nobody else has done a video on it. So that leads me to another question. How am I going to do it? A lot of the videos call for canning the breast raw in the quarts or pints. And I can understand that idea, but if I'm going to can it and have barbecue sauce, I was really concerned that the fat would cook out of the chicken, and then there would be fat in with the barbecue sauce too, which would be rather gross looking and not very good tasting. So I'm gonna do it the hard, old-fashioned way, like I did with my chicken quarters. I'm gonna take the chicken breasts and I'm gonna put them in a kettle here of water. I'm not gonna use as much water this time because I don't really need a lot of broth. I'll can the broth separately, but I'm gonna put the breast in with the water and cook it until it is tender. And then I guess I'll take a fork and shred it up, and then I'll put barbecue sauce to it, and then we'll can the shredded chicken and barbecue sauce in quart jars. I don't have any more pints, so I'm gonna have to go quart. So this is the way I'm gonna do it. I don't know how else to do it. I know you can shred chicken really nice in a crock pot, but for 20 pounds, and plus I'm really not using electric unless I absolutely have to. It just seems to me like a really, really long way of doing it, and when you're doing it this amount, I don't know how else to do it. If anybody has any suggestions, or if anybody's ever seen a YouTube video on barbecue shredded chicken, I would love to see it. There's pork, but I've never seen chicken. And my husband and I, we love having barbecue chicken sandwiches, and I'm all for doing whatever I can ahead of time. That way, when I go to open up a jar, I have nothing else to do but heat it up. So I'm gonna get this chicken cooking. You know how I'm doing it because I did it in the last video. And when it's all cooked and shredded, I will show you what it looks like then. And the barbecue sauce is the same barbecue sauce that I had in an earlier video, my homemade barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna make that separate and then make this, and then we're gonna combine it all together and see what it looks like. So stay tuned and I will get right back to you. Okay, so I made the barbecue sauce and I cooked the chicken in the broth. I took the chicken out of the broth and put it in here, and don't laugh at me, people, because this is what I'm doing. I'm taking a knife and I'm just running it through the chicken, and that's how I'm shredding it. And it's really working really good. You can see it's getting shredded up. So I'm going to continue to do this until all the pieces are shredded up. And then I'm going to fill up my pint jars with chicken barbecue, and then I'm going to can it for 75 minutes, 10 or 11 pounds pressure for my altitude. I don't know about anybody else's altitude, whatever you pressure can meat at. is what you want to have it at. It says 10 pounds, but I always go like 11 and 12. I keep it running around 11 and 12 pounds for pressure, and for pints it's 75 minutes. And I'm hoping I have enough of pint jars, because I really didn't feel like having to do this in quart. So that's how I did it. And so I will show you when it's all done canning. I'm not going to show you how I canned it because it's the same as me, and I'm sure if you're watching this, pretty much most everybody does know how to can it. Except for you, Patty. Patty, I'm going to have a video for you next week, and I'm going to show you a simple way of starting out with canning. So I didn't forget about you, Patty, and I'll get to you next week. But for you other girls, this is how I'm doing it. And with a knife, it seems to shred really easy. So I'm going to cook this a while longer, and then I'm going to can it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. See you guys.